All right, so we're making our own red sauce, marinara sauce, pasta sauce, whatever you want to call it. It's a great way to get those random scraps of veggies out of the back of the fridge. And it's super versatile. I'm going to show you guys a breakfast dish to make with it as well if you guys are getting tired of pasta with red sauce. So first step, we're going to sweat down some onion and some extra virgin olive oil. You can use yellow onion, you could use white onion, you could use leek. But I suggest having at least one onion in there. So good amount of olive oil, probably about 2, 3, 4, 5 tablespoons. Couple cloves of garlic, about 4 or 5. You could add 6, 7, get it really garlicky. And again, I don't know if you noticed, but the knife work on that doesn't really matter. It's something that you can have the kids do if you trust them with a knife. You can have them chop it up, because what's going to happen is we're going to blend it all up and it's going to become smooth. Same with this veg. So this is my random bowl of veg from the fridge. I had those kind of sketchy mushrooms in the back of the fridge, like a half bulb of fennel, quarter of a carrot, if you have like half a bell pepper, whatever, chop it up, throw it in there. This is a good time to add in your herbs. I suggest using fresh herbs, but if you don't have fresh herbs, you can totally use dry herbs. I've got a bay leaf, stolen from my neighbor, and a bit of fresh oregano and marjoram. You could use dried oregano, you could use rosemary, you could use thyme, just those kind of resinous, more hardy herbs. You could even use sage. If you have something growing in your backyard, awesome, pluck it, chuck it in there. And again, this doesn't need to be really chopped up, because we're going to blend everything together. So like a rough handful of some fresh herbs. If you're using like dried oregano or dried basil, probably like a tablespoon-ish. So this is going to sweat down for a little bit until the onions are a bit translucent, and then we're going to add some tomatoes. I've got canned tomatoes. I've got whole San Marzano tomatoes. Use whatever you have. If you have crushed tomatoes, if you have diced tomatoes, if you have whole tomatoes, that's great. We'll chuck them in there. So once this veg kind of sweats down a little bit, it starts to smell really nice. You're gonna hit it with a splash of wine. I don't have any wine. We drank it all last night, so we're just gonna go straight to the tomatoes. I would use red wine, just like a splash, like a cup. Pour yourself a glass too. So this is 1 quart. It's about the equivalent of roughly 3 of the smaller 12-ounce cans, or you can probably find 1 big quart can. If you have fresh tomatoes, this is the time to chop them up and throw them in there as well. We're going to let this cook down and simmer for about 20 or 30 minutes until the vegetables are soft, and then we're going to blend it up. Alright, so this sauce has been bubbling away with the lid on for about 30-35 minutes. I've been taking the lid off and stirring it occasionally. It smells really, really, really good in here. And at this point, you can either blend it. I would take out this bay leaf too. It's an important part. You can either blend it, match it with a potato masher, and have a very rustic sauce. I like to use my immersion blender. Keep in mind, if you're having, if you're using a normal blender, fill it up about halfway if this is hot, because what's going to happen is it's going to expand, it's going to be really hot, and you can hurt yourself. So I like using one of these, but you can totally use a blender or a food processor. We're just going to pulse this until it's a nice, kind of smooth consistency. Alright, so at this point, you can either keep cooking it down if you want a thicker sauce. Right now it's a little bit thin, and I think it's perfect. I would turn it off, cool it down, put it into some jars before you chuck it into the refrigerator. You can use this on pasta, as we know, but also put some on some like French bread, with some cheese and some pepperoni, and make some little pizzas. I'm going to show you guys a breakfast that you can make with this tomorrow. Essentially just like some eggs baked in a red sauce with a few other things, and that's it. It's your own pasta sauce.